Homework 1-6. Chandra said the solution of the system of equations is -1, 2. Is she correct? Explain. But there's lots of ways of doing this. You could literally just plug in twice a -1 plus 2 is 3. -2 plus 2 is 3. No, that's false. She is not correct. All right. This point, -1, 2, does not lie, or satisfy would be the better word, an equation. Well, let's see what it is, because Chandra's not right. At least I don't think she's right. Doesn't look right. Let's see here. I'm going to use elimination. I actually like elimination. Elimination is probably my favorite technique. I'm going to double this one. So what I did is I multiplied this whole equation by 2. So the x's would be additive inverses. It's 12. I think the Chandra might have a little dyslexia, because the y value is -1 and the x value is probably 2. So we have 2x plus a -1 is 3. 2x is 4, x is 2. Yeah, she has dyslexia. She got x and y backwards. Correct answer is 2, -1. You see kids do that quite often. It is actually a very common mistake to just forget which one goes first. What they'll do is they'll solve for one of them and they'll just assume that's x and they'll put it in the wrong spot. Let's see here. Solve and classify each system. I'll look at 7, see what she is. 7 is looking like substitution is probably the best way. The way it's written, I would probably use substitution. So I can take that and throw it there. So everywhere I see a y, I'm 2x plus 3. So what I did is I replaced that y with 2x plus 3. That'll give me 4x plus 6 minus an x is 12. 4x minus x is 3x. 12 minus 6 is 6. My x value is 2. So I know it has a solution. That's going to make it consistent independent. The y value, if I plug into the original equation up here, x is 2, should be 7. So we have a solution to 7. We are supposed to classify this. This is consistent, independent, because it has one solution. Independent and one go together. One unique solution. So there's 7. So I've done 2 there. I've done 6 ACT questions. That's 8 questions I've done so far. What's on this thing? 24. I've done a third of your homework so far. Here's number 9. You're supposed to sketch a graph. And of the set of all points that solve each system, actually 8's probably harder, so I'll do 8. All right. 8 is going to be the harder of the two. We have 0 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 125. That is two equations. That is, x is greater than 0 and x is less than or equal to 125. Those are vertical lines. Then we've got this one, which is kind of funky. It's two separate equations. We have 2y is less than or equal to x, which becomes y is less than or equal to x over 2. That's what I have to graph. And we have 2y is greater than 0, which is y is greater than 0, because we divide out the 2. So there's lots of things going on here. And then we got this guy. This guy is looking like mx plus b. We'll move the 2x over. 2y less than or equal to negative 2x plus 300. Y is less than or equal to negative x plus 150. Now I have everything on graph. Your scale on this one, I guess you'll probably want to do tens. Looks to me like you want to do tens. Let's see, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. 20, 30, 40, 50. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. The reason I said tens is because of these numbers here. All right, so the first thing they want me to graph is x is greater than 0. X equals 0 is a vertical line at 0. Where's my black pen at? It would be a dashed line right here, and it's telling me to shade right because it's a greater than symbol. Less than or equal to 125, we have equality there. It'll be a solid line right here. This is x less than or equal to 125, and it's telling me to shade left because it's less than. All right, y less than or equal to x over 2. Think about that. Y-intercept of 0, rise 1, run 2. So in other words, rise 10, run 20. Oop, missed it. And I have equality. Looks something like this. This is y less than or equal to x over 2. And there's a less than symbol, shade below. So we're starting to see a shape getting outlined here. We have 2y greater than 0, which became y greater than 0. That is a horizontal line on the x-axis. And it's shade above. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any access keys?
I forgot to go into Synergy. I do not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Where was I? Oh, the last one. Y is less than or equal to negative x plus 150. So that starts all the way at the top, and it's going to drop one and run one, drop one and run one, drop one and run one. It's going to end up right down here. It's going to drop 10, run 10, drop 10, run 10. And it is solid. And it is telling me to shade underneath. If you follow all the arrows, what it's telling you is it's telling you to shade this triangle right here. That's what it's telling you. Now, that worked out well. Let's check my little work here. I don't mind if you do this at home, but you had better make sure that you know how to actually solve each inequality for each particular equation. We'll have to wait on my PC because it's just going to be slow. Anytime I'm actively recording and trying to do anything, it's just ridiculously slow. Come on. There we go. Desmos is kind of nice. It'll do the shading for you, and it'll even pick out colors, and you can see your picture. But we had a couple of equations that had to be derived. We had x greater than 0. Notice how it's shaded right, and I can zoom way on out. That's far enough, isn't it? I only had to go out to 150. We also had x is less than or equal to 125. Need my keyboard up here to get that symbolism. Notice the double shaded area, the darker area. I had y less than or equal to x over 2. I'm starting to see that triangle. I had y greater than 0. And maybe you can start seeing this triangle here. There's a couple of points on it that are sticking out. There's one up here too. And what's the last one I have here? I have y less than or equal to negative x plus 150. Oh, they chose a dark color there. But there is that triangle. It's the same one I have. So there you go. With that in mind, maybe you can do number 9. You will have to solve each particular inequality out to do it. But actually, number 9 is easier. Like in number 8, I had to do these little things. I had to break these compound inequalities apart. Number 9 is easier. It has no compound inequalities. So I did the harder of the two there for you. Ooh, we have a solve. Let's just do 10. And which variable do I want to go after? I'm going to attack y, because I noticed that right there. So I'm going to take the first and second equations. And I'm just going to add them together, because when I do that, the y's disappear. Now I need to attack it again. I got to attack it twice. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this equation, I'm going to double it. I'm actually going to multiply it by a negative 2. So that'd be negative 6x minus 2y minus 12z equal to negative 8. And I'm going to go back with the third equation here. X plus 2y plus 9z is negative 16. And I'm going to add them together. So again, what I did is I multiplied the second equation by negative 2. So that the y's would add up and disappear. Negative 5x minus 3z is negative 24. And now I have a new system with only 2 variables. And I noticed that the x's are additive inverses. It's called the double elimination technique. And I know that some of you guys are complaining, like, this is so hard. I grew up in Palmersville, Tennessee. We were doing systems of 5 equations, 5 variables, and using elimination to solve them. So I don't want to hear your whiny little butt. We did it in Palmersville, Tennessee in the early 90s with 5 variables. So don't you be complaining about 3. You know, they closed our school because it was supposedly so bad. Anyways, we add down. And we get something funky. We get 0x plus 0z equals 0. What? The nice thing is if you take 0 and 0 and you add them together, it's still true. This particular system is where you're dealing with parallel lines. These are parallel linear equations. They have an infinite number of solutions. And until I actually teach you how to do this with matrices, you cannot actually answer it. So there's 10. 12 and 13 are you're supposed to write the augmented matrix. First thing you have to do is you have to place things in standard form. You have to place your EQs in standard form. So I'm going to move the, if I think about the alphabet, it's LMNO, right? M's come first. This is going to become M minus 7N equals negative 1. Put the variables on the left, constants on the right. And if I move this guy on over, it's going to become negative M minus N equals negative 1 because I'm shifting things around. My augmented matrix would look pretty simple. The M column is 1 and negative 1. The N column is negative 7 and negative 1. The dashed line there that the augmented matrix is supposed to have, which represents the equality symbol. And then the constants, negative 1, negative 1. 15, you're supposed to write the equations. We'll just call this x, y, and then the constants. we'd have a half x plus y is 0. A negative x plus 4y is 2. That's how hard that is. And I'm only going to do one of these word problems. They all work pretty much. The b's cancel. And 10 minus 6 is 4. All right. Now you're going to divide both sides by 4/10, which I'll write as a fraction. Oh, this is weird. Oh, fudge. Made a mistake. Let me stop the video, delete it, and start this problem over. Looked at the wrong percentage.